Thank you.
Good to be back.
Good to be back for sure.
Welcome back in Holland, yes. A few minutes ago I spoke with the proven ones. I called them 5 famous musicians that you put together, and then you have a band.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that the same conclusion that I must make for the blues giants? Put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 good musicians together and you have a...
Yeah, I guess it seems that way.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Mention all the people. Yeah.
Yeah, I asked them, must we call you a band or are you just something that passes, that this happens?
Well, the whole thing was actually the brainchild of Patrick Kaiser in Switzerland, in Basel, from Groove Now, Blues Now. So he was the one that had the idea several years ago to do something like this, to have a special group of guys that knew each other, don't get to play with each other much, or hadn't got to play with each other, and put them all together, and it worked. Here's Albert Castillo. We were just talking about your
I was just
hometown.
talking about you.
My home. What are you saying about me?
Yeah, I was asking. They told me that you come from Spain.
Well, his grandmother.
Well, this is a crazy
your
thing.
family-
You know how I've been into my ancestry thing lately because I found out last year that I have a daughter that I didn't know.
Yeah, told
And
us
she's
that.
30 years old, and I have 2 grandchildren.
And you didn't know that.
No. Well, we were children. Her mother and I were children,
but
but
so drunken, or
drunk at what?
you were that night so drunken.
I wasn't. No, I was drunk enough to make a baby. I wasn't that drunk. But so my daughter found me because of ancestry. She took a DNA test, and then I took the test, and then I started finding out these things, about who I was. So I'm Italian, and my grandmother is Cuban. But her family goes back to Galicia, Spain, and my grandmother's parents were from Spain, from that part of Spain that we played at, about an hour from Orense. So it was quite I've become more in tune with my family history. It's been very remarkable. It took me finding a daughter to really get into it. So.
Okay, that was the opening question, but
Dat was hot news.
Yeah,
Hot news.
Yeah, hot news. But my question was, put together like the proven ones, 5 good positions, and do you have a band?
I think it's a little more than that. I think being seasoned musicians being able to make. I mean, it's not as easy as it sounds to just put 5 people together to make them play. I think that if you did that with 5 really young guys, that it probably wouldn't work well, because but with seasoned musicians, yeah, it works because they, people know how to listen and how to bring up ideas, and you toured enough, and so for us, and then me, Jimmy, and Willie, we played together for years and years and years.
And the Manish Boys.
For years.
Manish
So,
Boys, yeah, you have all connections.
Yeah, there's
And
a
you
lot
have
of.
all a musical background. It's like you were raised, told, it's very important.
Yeah,
yes.
we all have a different musical. I mean, we love blues. We all have listened and played to other music as well. But there is a connection with Sugar and Willie and I, as far as the Manish Boys go.
Yeah.
But last year, or a year and a half ago, when we did it the first round, and Albert was in there, with Mike Zito was in it on that round, and that worked great. I don't think necessarily you can just randomly take people and throw them together and it's going to work. But with that said, it was sort of just thrown together, and it did work.
I think it helped that most of us were friends. I mean, I've known Ray. Well, I didn't know Jimmy and Willie very well, but we hit it off very well. I feel like I've known them my whole life, but Sugar Ray, I know Sugar since before he was playing blues, and he was transitioning from gospel to blues. I met him in a bar in early 2009 in St. Louis. In St. Louis, and then so we had a history from then. Then we run into each other on the road and became friends through the road. That's usually how it all goes back. And I go back with Nick.
Yeah, I think you're the youngest one of the.
Yeah.
Yes.
How do you feel in that company or in the group?
Well, Albert and I have known each other for a very long time, and Jimmy and I have jammed a few times briefly, but we always wanted to do something together, And Sugar Ray and I have always run into each other, and we're always like, we want to do something together too. We didn't know when or how, and now it came up this way, and we had this opportunity, and it was just really exciting. It was starting off. It was like, some friends, but now, coming at the end of this tour, it feels like brothers, man.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I've jammed with some of the best musicians in the world, like really big names, and
He's talking about us.
yes, they are. Other than you, aside from you, there'll be some really big names like Jimmy, but bigger. But no, I mean some real big names, and when you jam with them, sometimes there's no connection. So, I think the fact that we get along and we're friends really I think that plays a big part in why it comes off on stage as well as it does musically. I think friendship is a big part of this thing.
Yeah, I would agree.
Music is a shared experience.
He said there must be chemistry between them.
Right.
If you don't have that, you can't play together.
You're right. He's right.
Well, you can play together. You just probably won't play together long.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a miserable time if the chemistry's not there. You just want the things to end. When I jammed with this guy, I'm not going to name names, but he was a really big name, and I would rather have played with my nephew, who's 6 years old and he doesn't play any guitar at all. I would rather he had just bashed away on his ukulele. But man, when you get along and when you get along off stage and on as well as on stage, I think that plays a big part in the music
Absolutely.
thriving.
I was just very honored to get to work with all these successful musicians too. I mean, going through Jimmy's, Jimmy and Willie and Sugar Ray and all the great bands you guys have been in. You got success there, so I'm
thanks.
very honored.
Yeah, it's been great getting to know Nick and playing with Nick on this trip. We hit it off. Again, it's kind of it's not a very you can't really articulate what happens when you get people together sometimes for the first time. It's kind of hit or miss, and this has just been a hit, like right off the bat.
You must have a plan. You must have a set list. You must have.
Yeah, well, I mean, we come up with that.
Yeah, we go. Yeah.
We've let that to Jimmy. Jimmy comes up with that.
We just let Jimmy.
And then he so graciously let me screw it all up after he's meticulously written it all down. So,
Well, we like to.
He's the chief of the gang.
when on the stage, he's really good. The German in him is really good. He keeps it good, and that way, for me, with him being there, and it was the same way when I was with the managed boards. I don't have to think about this. I can just think about what I need to do up front, and I'll look back at Jimmy like, "What's next, Jimmy?"
Yeah. But that said, it's good to have a plan. I mean, going into this, honestly, there was no rehearsal for this at all. So we showed up in Basel and said, okay, what are we going to do here? And then we hit the stage, and it's just, we started kind of, refining it without rehearsals or without talking about it too much,
Right, yeah.
So we'll have I like to have some sort of a plan. And also when you have a group like this and you've got not just great musicians, but then you've got 3 great singers, you want to try to make sure in my mind, you'd like to be able to divide that up so that people are getting, some good time and they can do their songs as well. All that said, Sugar is the master of working a crowd and knowing how the crowd is feeling. So if just because it's on this, everybody knows this. So, if there's a song that's coming up that's just because it's on the set list doesn't necessarily mean that we need to do that. And that goes for Albert and Nick as well. It's more like we get to that point, it's like, okay, what song do you want to do here? Here's what I have, but let's not get bent out of shape if that's not the right song for that time right now.
You have to. It's got to be. It's a play, but it's got to be loose, a little loose. You know.
It's
so that you can put on the best show.
But Nick, it's not your first time here in Moulin.
Oh, no.
Oh no, you
No.
are here with your own band.
I was here with my own band and also with my family band. So I think 3 times the trip.
Tramplet on Ospel.
Yes, I think this might be my 5th time here.
wow.
All routineers. All men who knows the festival.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we've all been.
We've
You
been
played, have
here.
you played it? You're the only one that haven't played it.
No, Jimmy, I think also.
I've been here with
also-
the Thunderbirds, with Rod Piazza, with the Manish Boys, with my band Woodbrain. Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
there with the
lots of
Managed
fun.
Boys. I've been there with my band. We were not just recently. I was down just staying in this hotel. I was playing somewhere else, but been there a few times. So it's been it's been good.
many
I was
times.
here in my dreams.
It is one of my favorite festivals
Yeah.
out of all these years.
It's the first one in Holland, yes. So.
Yes, I love. Yeah, this is a really great
It's
festival.
still freaking me out that I was just here like I'm gonna say like a year or so ago in this hotel, but it was still Tulip. Then just
Yeah,
returned and said,
correct.
"Oh, it changed." I'm like,
Well,
"What?
I changed
What?"
Tulip is finished.
I think
It looked the
what's
same, they just
name
changed
of
the
it?
name.
They named it after Kirk Fletcher now.
Really?
Possible. Okay, we have, like I said, a band. You enjoy playing music, but how can you guarantee that the public is enjoying it too?
You can never guarantee that. All you can do is try to put your best foot forward. But the biggest thing for me, I can't speak for everybody. I've always learned between gospel and all the years of gospel and playing here and soul that what has worked for me is when the band is having a good time. Even if I've gone so many places in the world where they're like, oh, people don't dance here and people don't sing here and blah blah blah. But when the band is really, really, really having a good time, and you can tell that they're having a good time, that is infectious. Then when people like, well, the band is gonna have a good time whether we have a good time or not. So maybe we should have a good time with them. So I think that part of the chemistry is to me most paramount because when you're doing music, not to get all metaphysical, you're talking to spirits. Yes, you're a physical person out there, but you may not understand one note. But what you do understand is the way the band and the music made you feel.
The way you
so you're
sing,
talking to spirits.
the way you drums.
And so when I'm playing and when I'm out front, I'm not even really looking at so much the people as I am looking at the feeling. It sounds weird, but this is what I do is I'm looking at the feeling in the room or at the venue. And I've learned that you can shape that feeling and bend it to your will, no matter where you are, once you connect to it. That makes any sense.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of that helps and make that easy when the band is actually having a good time. When they're not all, this is not rocket science. We're not doing brain surgery. We're playing music. This is something we've loved to do all our life. And you're up here for 75 minutes, 90 minutes. Like, we're exhausted, we're tired, but God, we're having a good time. We're telling jokes. And this is the part that, and when the crowd sees that, there's a few people who can get up there and just look serious all the time and just, and people vibe to it. But you think about music and all the greatest bands or solo artists you think about, it's only maybe about 2 or 3 people that can sit up there, look sour, put face, and play. That people will come and stay. There's only a few of those. It's got to be more than that.
It was really neat to watch you break the ice with the crowd in Vienna. Because in Vienna, because we're trying to get them to sing along and dance.
The place where we ate at the McDonald's.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah, but yeah, it was. I didn't think you were going to do. You were going to get them, but you did.
Oh
yeah!
In the end, you got it.
Yeah, you got them. Yeah, it was a little tough, but it was. They needed. I think they needed some prodding on that one.
Yeah.
But then you got the camera out. And the Facebook Live. And then you got them, and you made everybody get up. You physically made them stand up and sing and play, and
they had a great time.
And it broke it, yeah. Both, yeah.
Yeah, but we had 3 songs left.
Yeah, but everybody was seated, which is it's difficult. Like last night was really easy. Everybody's packed in the streets down front, But when everybody was sitting down real cozy, everybody's like, I don't want to stand up.
And it was
I'm
a
really
Monday night.
Yeah,
Monday night.
I think it was a Monday night in
Vienna,
Vienna.
yeah.
but we got him. You got him. You got him.
But also to finish up on your question, how can you guarantee? I mean,
Yeah, guarantee.
knock on wood, everybody so far has loved it.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
believe
been
in
a
that.
hit.
That's no problem. But you must. Good musicians doesn't mean that you're a good man. A good band.
That's true.
That's very true. Very true.
That's so.
Very true.
Well, I used to be a social worker.
With
I- for-
his father.
What did you say? Wise ass. What did you say?
Yeah, the father.
No, I wasn't. Well, no, that's a different story. But
No.
well, out of college, I was a welfare worker, and I played music nights. And I did that for 5 years before I got on the road with Junior Wells. Before Junior Wells picked me up and showed me the world. So I'm always gonna have a good. Whenever I feel like I'm gonna go up on stage and not have a good time, I think about what I was doing 25 years ago, and I still get nightmares about working in the welfare office. I still get nightmares. 3 times a year, I'll have a nightmare that I'm still working in that office, shuffling papers. So I know one thing for sure: I'm gonna have a good time, and hopefully everybody else will have a good time too, because this is the greatest job I ever had.
Yeah, Nick and I were just talking about this the other day. There's not too many jobs that you go to and you show up and people are like, I am so happy you're here. This is gonna be an awesome day. And at the end of the day, it was like, man, you did all that paperwork so well. Like, that's the best, you know? I mean, man, I love you. You just made my day and my whole evening better, you know? There's not too many jobs.
By changing the paper in the copy machine.
By changing the way you change the paper in the copy machine. I'm being sarcastic, you see what I'm saying, but facetious. But yeah, with our job, it's hard to take that for granted, you know, to show up and people are excited and you want to do good for them. You want to have a good time. You want them to have a good time.
Yeah.
And it's just, yeah, it's a good thing. It's
Okay.
I mean, I'm always still nervous, you know. So I that's why I can't eat before a show, because the nerves. And I've always told Pam and tell the other people that when I get to the point that I'm not nervous before a show, then I think it's time for me to quit. You know, because then I'm just melting it in, and it's, you know what I mean. So, but I can be tired, in pain. You know, I've played many shows with 104 fever and chills, and once I'm on the stage, though, it's just like all that kind of like, you know, I could be grumpy, I could be blah, 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 but once we hit that first downbeat, like if I was trying to play, all that usually just disappears.
Now, the last week has been a testament to that. The
Yes.
whole last week, because we had some travel misfortunes. The SAS went on strike, the Scandinavian airline, which affected our travel. So for like 4 days in a row, we had to play the show at night, and then be in a bus at 3:30 to go to an airport by 5 o'clock, to be on a plane by 7. Like this went on for 4 days in a row, and we've been operating on 3-4 hours of sleep on average. That's a generous estimate, actually.
Yeah.
Really just
But every night we got up to play, all the fatigue and the tiredness disappears. It's the best thing about us. The stage is the best thing about us, in terms of what we do, and you know, I think we get paid to do the stuff,
Traveling.
the crap, like get on planes and ride and load the gear, and that's what we get paid for. The fun part is playing.
Yeah.
So
So I think, going back to what you said and what Jim said, like you said, I think for me, it still goes that if the band is having a good time, usually at some point that night the crowd joins in on it.
That's okay. Outside Blues Giants, still busy working with personal things, projects.
yes.
Yeah.
We got last year an album of you.
Last year, the new album is out now. Matter of fact, I just found out it's #1. I just found out today it's #1. But yeah, I mean,
Congrats.
Thank you. I'm running. We're all running. I mean, I think, like I said, we went to bed last night at 2 o'clock, and we got up at 4 o'clock, and we got on the plane, and we got here when you just saw us walk in, and we're gonna play tonight at
Very late.
11:30. And I think we'll probably be off the stage about 12:30. Probably get back to the hotel about 2:30. And at 5, we'll be back in the bus to go back to the airport. I will land in Arizona. I have 24 hours off, and then I have to be in Memphis for the BMAs 2 nights, and then I leave the May 9th from the BMAs and start another tour with my band, starting the 10th through the 20-something, and then I finally get time off. And I know these guys are the exact same way. We're all, that's what we do. You know?
Yeah, well, you just talked to my band, who's actually here, and Willie and I will be playing with. That's the Proven Ones with Kid Ramos, Anthony Gerasi, Brian Templeton, and our horn players actually got them over here too, Joe McCarthy and Chris Mercer. Yeah. So that's another fun project, and we're looking forward to playing tonight. That's another special band that everybody comes together, and we've all been in different configurations throughout the years. Back at home, I have a recording studio, and I'm still playing 5 nights a week. So last year I did 269 jobs, and I've got 3 little kids and a wife. So we're busy. Yeah.
Same for you.
I'm not out traveling as much as these guys, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, we were in. My record came out March 1st. It's called Crazy All by Myself. And we were originally in Switzerland right before that. Came home, we did 3 weeks of touring. I came and then was home for just a few days and took my kids camping because it was the last time I was going to see them for a few months, even though they live with me. Yeah, and then came straight here for this, and then I'm not going to the Blues Music Awards. The rest of the guys are, because I've got a West Coast tour. I'd go, but so I'll be leaving I'll be in Los Angeles in a week. So after playing Phoenix and Arizona and Vegas and heading out west, then I get home from that, and then it's just when you have a record out, you have to tour it, and you have to work hard. You have to get out there and see faces.
That's what the public expects.
Yeah. So, but it's my favorite. It's the best job in the world.
Also for you, Albert.
Well, I go home tomorrow. After this, the last show of the Blues Giants tour. Go home tomorrow, and then I'm home for 2 days, and then we start a Midwest tour. It starts in Memphis at the Rum Boogie Cafe the night before the Blues Music Awards, and Sugar Ray's gonna come sit in, and Jimmy and Willie's gonna sit in. Nick is not coming. I'm a little mad about that.
I feel sad.
Yeah, whatever.
I feel
so. So then after that, we go on the road for 2 weeks. And then my new album comes out May 24th, Masterpiece, which was inspired by my daughter and my grandchildren. And I'm really happy with it. I'm very proud of it. And then touring nonstop through the year. I think we're on pace to do about 200 dates this year.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you a lot.
Thank you.
These were my questions. I hope that you have a good show tonight and that you can sleep a little bit longer.
Yeah, I don't think I've been.
We'll get all the sleep we need when we're dead.
We skipped. Just to note, we skipped dinner last night so you could get a little extra rest.
We have been eating. That's right.
Yeah, we need to eat.
Yeah.
We have been eating since when?
I don't remember.
Since the hamburger.
Since the hamburger yesterday afternoon when we got into town.
Holy crap.
Yeah, we got into town.
Okay. I just thought I was tired.
Yeah, I don't need to eat.
Hungry too. Yeah,
Tired
we need
and
something.
hungry.
Yeah.
Don't forget to eat.
Yeah, no, so everybody's busy with their projects. I mean, I think in the last 6 months, I think I've already played almost somewhere well over 100 shows, and that was leading up to this album release. And then right before we came here, I had just done 12,000 miles across the U.S., but I had done a week in the UK and Scotland, came home for a day, then a week in the Caribbean, came home for 1 day, then a week in India, came home for 2 days, and then did 12,000 miles, came home for 2 days, and then flew here and did this.
Slapper.
And we're gonna leave here, and we all are doing it again. But my motto now is, if you're a musician and you're well rested, things ain't going right.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're a tired musician, that means that you've been out there working. And this, I don't know how he does it. You know, I don't have small kids. I just Pam and I, but to have 3 small children and to do that is like, he's insane.
He has a good wife.
Yeah.
Dedication.
He's got a good wife, but he's there.
That's a
He's one of those fathers. He's there like every day. You know, he doesn't go out on the road, but he's playing around town. I think 5-6 days a week.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like you know, and he's the one that gets up in the morning, even after a gig, getting home at 4, and gets them off to school, and he cooks breakfast. He makes oatmeal from scratch, for God's sakes. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Yeah, that's really cool, though.
Appreciate it.
You know,
I admire you for that.
I just want to say too that I'm having a great time playing with you guys, and I hope I get to do that again.
We
Yeah.
still got to talk about that. We still got to talk about this chicken.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, initiation rites.
We've held off.
Change the name.
Yeah, no.
Blues Friends or the
The Blues Buddies.
Blues
All I
Brothers.
know is we have a good time.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you again.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay. Thank you.
We leave you, and you can have about 10 hours to sleep now.
Yeah, right.
What time is sound check?